I know he is not calling me again. Not now. On your call, Madam President.
Trenton City Council meeting Tuesday, May the 21st, 5:30 p.m. This meeting is officially called to order. Please stand for the flag salute. I
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to Public Laws 1975, Chapter 231. This agenda is complete to the extent known and was sent to the Trenton Times, posted on the first floor bulletin board in City Hall, and filed in the city clerk's office. Formal action will be taken. Mr. Garcia?
Certainly. Roll call. Councilwoman Edwards. For the record, Councilwoman Edwards did email that she is excused from this meeting this evening. Vice President Figueroa Kettenberg. Councilwoman Frisbee.
Here.
Councilwoman Gonzalez.
Presente.
For the record, Councilman Harrison also emailed to inform that he was unable to be at this meeting. He is excused from this evening's meeting. Councilwoman Williams.
Present y presente.
Gracias. Council President Feliciano.
Present.
Madam President, we have four. I believe you have a quorum. My name is Brandon Garcia, Municipal Clerk present. Ed Kaloji, Legislative Counsel. And Mr. Wes Bridges, City Attorney. Thank you. And Madam President, if you like, I can read the invocation at this time.
Yes, thank you.
Almighty God, who holds the fate of man and nation, we most humbly beseech thee to bless this our city, these deliberations, and these thy servants, that they may act with wisdom and understanding for the good of our community and thy greater glory. Amen. And Madam President, this evening we have a presentation. We have a cannabis presentation from Mo Weed. And to the presenters, you will have 10 minutes for your presentation. I understand Mr. Wolski will be introducing the applicant, correct?
Yes. Thank you. As chairman of the Trenton Cannabis Advisory Committee, I'm pleased to introduce the applicant for the 10th retail cannabis establishment in the city of Trenton, Mo Weed. We reviewed the application very carefully and very thoroughly. We met with the applicant 3 times actually, and we concluded that this applicant will be a positive force for the city of Trenton. So at this time, I'd like to introduce you to Brittany Bennett and Moses Sutton.
We do have a few handouts we'd like to pass out before we get started.
Go right ahead, folks.
Good evening, members of City Council, guests, and fellow residents of Trenton. My name is Moses Sutton, also go by Mo. Some of you guys know me. I'm a proud native of Trenton. Been here for 31 years. I currently reside in the South Ward. I'm still here. I graduated from Mercer County Community College to pursue my education in information technology, and I also pursue my studies in NJIT for pursuing my studies in information technology as well. I would now like to introduce my CEO, Brittany Bennett.
My name is Brittany Bennett. I'm a local entrepreneur and holistic wellness professional. My academic journey includes a Bachelor of Science in Biochemistry from Hampton University, and I'm currently furthering my expertise in plant medicines with a Master of Science in Ayurveda and Integrative Medicine. Today, I stand before you as the CEO of Mo Weed.
I'm here today as a founder of Mo Weed. I started Mo Weed in 2020. I initially sold CBD and hemp legal products at our store on 1114 South Broad Street in Trenton. We are now seeking to transition our current CBD store into a legal Class 5 retail cannabis dispensary in the state of New Jersey, in the South Ward.
Since our creation, Mo Weed has achieved many milestones. We've welcomed over 40,000 customer visits and earned distinctions of being the highest rated cannabis shop in Trenton on platforms such as Google Maps, Facebook, and Leafly. Beyond our business, we've actively contributed to the community through the operation of our food pantry on Parkside Avenue in Ewing for the past 3 years. This food pantry was funded through the generous donations of our supporters and our customers. Our commitment extends beyond commerce. We've been deeply involved in various forms of community service and philanthropy over the last 4 years.
So a little bit about my goals. The goal for me when I get my Class 5 retail cannabis dispensary license is to offer the most affordable prices in Trenton. I do have plans to partner with New Jersey cultivators. I'm looking for female cultivators, Black-owned cultivators, and my goal is to only produce organic and non-GMO cannabis products. I do want to employ local residents. I want to prioritize hiring people who are affected by the war on drugs, people who got locked up for cannabis. I want to hire locals. I don't want to hire people out of Trenton. That's kind of like my goal. My goal also is to collaborate with local businesses that does signage, that does construction work to get my store in operation. Furthermore, I do have plans to do charity work. I do have plans to host an expungement clinic. An expungement clinic basically helps people who got arrested for selling cannabis and they want to clear their record and get their records expunged so they can get a job. I actually hosted one in City Hall about a year ago, I believe. So the goal is to continue that and do that annually. I do want to conduct educational seminars, educate people on cannabis and cannabis products. And I do want to research some mental health initiatives in Trenton to donate up to 10% of my funds that I do generate of profits to mental health organizations in Trenton. Go ahead, Brittany.
Now I'll speak on our safety measures. Safety is paramount in our operation. Over the past 4 years, we've partnered with multiple armed security agencies and also partnered with Security Dynamics, a local firm who's outfitted our facilities with advanced alarm systems and robust surveillance technology. We intend to coordinate closely with the Trenton Police Department and even consider hiring off-duty officers to ensure our dispensary operates in the safest manner possible.
So our current facility is located in the South Ward. Shout out to Jenna. So we currently operate it in the business zone. The business is predominantly funded by myself. I will look into getting private lenders and probably minor loans from the bank as well.
In conclusion, a resolution of support from this council will not only affirm the legitimacy of our operations, but also signify a collective endorsement of progressive, community-oriented business practices. Mo Weed stands ready to set a benchmark for responsible business in Trenton by contributing both to the local economy and social fabric of our community. I humbly ask for your support as we turn our vision into reality. Thank you.
Thank you, council.
Are there any council members that have any questions?
Council President?
Councilwoman Williams,
Thank you, ma'am.
you're welcome.
So I have questions. I know seeing your advertising around town and I think even billboards, et cetera. Are you currently already selling cannabis products? Because there's a lot of people out there who feel that you are, think that you are already.
Yeah, so there is a mixed confusion on the products we sell. The products we sell is CBD and hemp products. All those products are federally legal based on the Trump 2018 Farm Bill. So those are the products we're we're selling, and those are the products we're advertising on the billboards. And just for the record, we're currently not advertising on billboards because we are trying to pursue to upgrade our business. So that's something we're not going to do in the future.
Okay, gotcha. So the only advertising you'll be doing is what is adhering to the cannabis ordinance we currently have, and you'll follow all the rules of the current cannabis ordinance going forward.
That's correct.
Okay, because we want to make sure that everyone is, following the same rules, so it's fair to all competitors, all the businesses in the city who are going to be able to get involved in this business. So my other question, as far as when do you expect, if you're approved for everything, et cetera, that your launch date would be?
So the goal is to have our launch date by the end of the year, maybe November, December. hopefully if we get you guys' support, we can for our annual licensing and, go forward from there.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Any other council people have questions?
Council President.
Yes, Council Vice President.
Hi, good evening. I'm really grateful and thankful to see you guys before us this evening. I know you guys have done so much with MoWeed, within the community. And I've often wondered myself, when are we gonna see you guys before us, to get this all legalized and straight? So the headquarters will still be the South Broad Street address or the one downtown?
No, it's going to be at 1114 South Broad Street. The store downtown is a CBD store. That location is owned by myself and Taffy Sutton. It's not a cannabis store, it's a CBD store.
And for as long as MoWeed has been operating and working in the community and servicing the community, what is the primary beneficial factor that this will bring to your business organization and also to the community?
For our business, it will be beneficial to help us grow and continue to share our message, empowering people about making holistic health choices and other options for healing, such as cannabis. And for the community, we want to continue our philanthropy. Even as just being a CBD store, we've always used our profits to do food drives, clothing donations, backpack drives, free ice cream dates for the children, expungement clinics. We even had a food pantry. We served about 25 families for 3 years. So we would like to relocate our food pantry to actually be in Trenton instead of Ewing and continue all of our community service efforts, just in a larger capacity with your support.
Okay, and one more question. You state that you want to donate up to 10% of its net profits to 5 different nonprofit local organizations. Have you guys pinpointed those 5 different nonprofits at this time, or are those still up in the air? What is the process for choosing those 5 nonprofits?
So we haven't made those choices at this time just because we're waiting until we have the final approval. But we want to work with organizations that really focus on health, wellness, drug and alcohol abuse, education, and services for women and children, and those that are systematically and economically disadvantaged.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
On your call, Madam President.
You may continue, thank you.
Madam President, we reached the point of public comment. If we could have the public comment clipboard. Public comment is for 5 minutes to the public. You may address any item that you wish. Please understand the council is not obligated to respond. The first individual for public comment listed is Veronica De Leon.
Good evening, honorable council members, and I see many faces that I know here. My name is Veronica De Leon, and this is the first time that I'm attending one of your city council meetings, so please forgive me if I get a little nervous. The concern that brings me here today, unfortunately, on Sunday, my husband and I were attacked by about 50 children.
I'm sorry, I apologize. Just not supposed. I did hear a name. I didn't hear an address. That's okay.
Oh, I apologize.
Please state your name and address for the record. I'm sorry.
Veronica De Leon,
Uh-huh.
34 Ardsley Avenue,
Thank you.
Ewing, New Jersey.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the concern that brings me here today, as I was stating, on Sunday evening between the hours of 4:45 and 5 p.m., my husband and I were driving down North Alden Avenue when about 50 children in their bicycles were weaving in and out of traffic. They blocked the traffic in that area and began to basically hit or try to weave in and hit the cars that were driving down the street. Unfortunately, as the light turned green, my husband moved. We couldn't have been moving more than 5 miles an hour. One of the children hit our car on purpose, and all 50 of them ganged around us. They kicked my car, they scratched my car, they were punching. I rolled up the window so that they wouldn't hit me or my husband. It was very concerning, very threatening. They were being very obscene. And it was just very, I just felt very attacked. I did call 911, and I'm pretty sure you'll be able to pull up that call if you like. It was again between 4:45 and 5 PM on Sunday. I did not see any police anywhere around that area. Police officer did call me back about 15 minutes later, asked me if I was still in the area. I was not. We tried to move away from the children as they were continuously going down and weaving inside the traffic on north to South Alden. One of my main concerns is that one, their behavior is very threatening, and one of them can actually get killed. And I don't want us as a city to be reactive. I would like us to be proactive. I don't know that there's any ways for the city police. I don't know who will be able to stop this behavior. I don't know if going to schools and talking to these children and again, let them know that this is a very dangerous thing that they're doing. I don't know how much that will help. But again, certainly I don't want, one, I don't want any children to be hurt. And two, I don't want any drivers get blamed for what they are doing to themselves. And unfortunately, I'm not the only one who's this happened to. I'm actually speaking for about 4 or 5 people that I know personally who told me that it's been happening here in Trenton. And so I live in Ewing and I was coming down from North Alden to where the Wells Fargo, North Alden and Brunswick, I believe it is. And that's where we were attacked. So I don't know if there's cameras or anything that you might be able to see. And I do apologize. I also do represent Asociación Buena Fe. It's a good faith association. And we're very active within the community. So they see me as a spokesperson, and they're always looking up to me to be able to bring such things as these issues or concerns to your attention. So thank you so much for your time.
Myrna Bautista.
She was supposed to come with me, but she didn't, so I apologize.
Okay.
Thank you.
Waldemar Ronquillo.
Good evening. My name is Waldemar Ronquillo. I'm a community activist for 25 years. Hello, everyone. I had a couple concerns.
We just have your address for the record as well.
60 Stacy Avenue. And also I have one in Robbinsville, 223 Hutchinson Road. The reason I'm here tonight is because 3 years ago was promised to my community in East Trenton a soccer field. It was nothing done. So we have 400 kids playing soccer every weekend. It's no bathrooms there. We only have water, but no bathrooms for those kids. So I heard 2 weeks ago, you asked the person in charge, they said she's ready to build the soccer field in next year. We want to know does she have the contract? She got the blueprints already made? Because 3 years ago, they promised to my community. It's not done. And they say they have the money inside, but just they offering water to the kids. Yeah, 400 kids play soccer every weekend. My other concern is question about the proposal the Councilor Gonzalez made about have the English Spanish documents. I want to know what's the status there. I want to know if it's to move on, or if they want to put on the table, or do you guys working something? We don't know anything. And a lot of the community asked me like, what's going on? Do you guys have something might to done or not? And the other reason as well, I have a businessman call me. You see tonight, the gentleman right there, I'm in the trouble. He have issues with his, when he have his customers, he park 5 seconds or 2 minutes, they really give it tickets to these people. They harassment all day long. So they're losing business. And you have a lot of businesses here tonight that want to talk about this issue. I don't know if you guys could do something about it, because we don't want to lose business in Trenton. We need business in Trenton. And I see a couple of business owners right here. I recognize one, the gentleman right there had another business here. So they're being affected because people can't even park in front of the business to pick up anything because they're being harassed by they give me tickets. I really appreciate if you guys do something about it. Thank you.
Algernon Ward.
Good evening, City Council. My name is Algernon Ward, also known as First Sergeant Ward, 6th Regiment, United States Colored Troops. And what we do is reenact United States Colored Troops in the Civil War. But I'm here tonight in my capacity as the Locust Hill Project Director to support the resolution that you have before you now to accept the funds from the state of New Jersey for the Locust Hill Project. The Locust Hill Project and the Locust Hill Project team has been working for more than 25 years on this particular project. And I'm proud to say that me, Leon Brooks, and Chuck Monroe were the ones who submitted the legislation to the state, through Verdlina and Shirley Turner and Mr. Varelli, to have that passed. And we were fortunate to have that go through to the tune of $400K for this occasion. So we're here to support the resolution as long as it keeps to the proper wording of the legislation that passed through the state, which designated an independent non-for-profit organization as the recipients of a grant from the state to complete this project. So we're here to support that resolution here tonight with that understanding of where this is going. There'll be further resolutions before you. I spoke with Mr. Bridges earlier this evening regarding designation of the 6th Regiment as the project developers, as we've been from day one. Because of, I'll just say, circumstances between the former council and the mayor, resolutions weren't put forward in a timely fashion, yet they're blaming us for the fact that they expired, even though we were not the responsible parties for submitting those resolutions. Long story short, there will be more legislation coming before you regarding the Locust Hill Project, one designating us as the redesignating us, renewing us as the project developers. And by the way, we lived up to every part of the agreement that we were put before us by, part of it was submitting an annual report in 2021 that we did, and 2022. Now they're saying they don't have it, but here it is. It's, you don't draw up something of this depth and then them not turn it in. Of course we turned it in to Housing and Urban Development, and what happened once it got there, I turned in a hard copy. I have no idea. But once we've done our due diligence, I didn't check to see if they were doing theirs. I assumed that they would. And we submitted the report as required by the developers agreement. So we lived up to our part. And I think all of you have visited the site on various occasions where we've been having activities in the north, in that neighborhood. And the difference in the property, we removed all the ivy off it. We've installed new windows. We cleaned it completely out. This week we had the basement re-poured with cement. We just moisture-proofed the walls on the outside by digging up that walls and coating them with waterproof equipment. And we've done a tremendous amount of work on the project. So nobody could accuse us of not carrying forth our part of the project to the point where we actually went out and got the funds to move forward. So I think that amply demonstrates that we have made progress on the project. And as the sponsors, nonprofit sponsors of that, that has all been done gratis. We're not asking the city for a dime. We're raising the funds ourselves. We just asked for the city's cooperation, particularly when we're talking about something as profound as the graves of our ancestors and the medium that which we are going to commemorate them. Please don't let this get caught up in the political gamesmanship that can happen here in City Hall. And let's just go forward with the project and get it done in a timely fashion. Because right now, we would like to be working on the project, getting some things done while the weather is good, but it's being encumbered by the process here. So we're asking you to please cut through the red tape. Let us move forward with this project. Please designate us as for the pending resolution. Thank you.
Chuck Monroe.
That's me.
Please state your name and address for the record, sir.
Chuck Monroe, 6 Langmore Drive, Ewing, New Jersey.
Thank you. Go right ahead.
I didn't know we were supposed to say anything, but yeah, we've been doing the work we can. As I understand, we haven't even received a check from the state yet, although it was earmarked for 23, 24 year. I guess that fiscal year ends June 30th, but I've got somebody call me. Yeah, so we really like to get it going on because the people of the neighborhood, they like us over there. They like what we're doing. And we're going to be sharing this as a community center with them that they can use for birthday parties or whatever. And we really would like to honor the fallen soldiers that are also buried there, the Civil War soldiers. And as for this deposition stuff and all the legalities, I have no idea what's going on.
No worries, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Hold on. Luis de la Cruz. Please state your name and address for the record, sir.
Hi, everybody. My name is Luis de la Cruz, and my address is 702 Greenwood Avenue, Trenton, New Jersey. I own 3 businesses. 2 of them are located in the 829 South Broad Street, and the other is 831 South Broad Street. There's next to. So it's the same issue that we're having with the parking. All our customers have, almost all of them have a ticket in the second area. The area is too many business in there. And the parking ticket that we talk, she all the time go over there, anytime. She go over there anytime. I received 3 times ticket in the same area because I gotta go there every day because I got 2 business in there. So one time I asked her, why you come here every day, all day? You come here to give a ticket to all the people in the same area. And she said, I'm doing my job. And I understand that she's doing her job. You know, we don't come here to not obey the law, but sometimes what can we do with the car? We gotta drive the car, our customer come to our business with their car. So there's an area that says no parking in this spot, like saying, it's like a half a block, like people can park, but there's a sign saying no park in this area. I don't know why. So that's the concern that we have. So I don't know how we're gonna deal with this. So we ask you guys to help us, help our business and our customers also. So there's other owners also with the same issue. Maybe they can explain better than me because my English is now, I don't know, it's not very good, but I hope you guys understand me. If you have any questions, so I'm here to answer. En español también. Bueno, yo pienso que todo el mundo lo entendió, ¿verdad que sí? Yo tengo 3 negocios en la Sabro, 2 de ellos están en el 829 Sabro y el otro está en el 831, una smoke shop y también es una barbería. Yo he recibido 3 veces ticket de la misma persona y ella va todos los días y le da ticket a todo el mundo ahí. So, nosotros no sabemos qué hacer porque no tenemos parqueo disponible para parquear los carros de nosotros y de nuestros clientes. No hay donde parquearse. Y hay una área, por ejemplo, que caben como 8 o 10 carros que dicen no parquearse y no sabemos por qué. Queremos ver lo que podemos hacer con eso. Muchas gracias.
Ken Wolski.
Thank you. Ken Walski. I live at 219 Woodside Avenue in Trenton, and been living there on and off since 1955. I'm here to comment on the proposed ordinance 24042, an ordinance creating Chapter 48 of the Code of the City of Trenton entitled Cannabis Consumption. My reading of this today seemed to indicate that it was establishing a series of fines for any outdoor or public use of cannabis, either smoking or vaping. But my concern is that it appears to be in conflict with the Jake Honig law that was signed by Governor Murphy that allows for the medical use of cannabis essentially anywhere that cigarette smoking is allowed. Even when the adult use of cannabis law passed a couple years later, it did not infringe on the rights of medical cannabis patients to use their medicine. And this is very serious. Medical cannabis is very, it's even beginning to be recognized by the Drug Enforcement Administration as a legal therapeutic medicine. So there's a simple fix to it. If there is a simple amendment could be made that if there is a fine to be imposed, the police officer could just simply ask to see the medical card of the patient to determine if that patient has a right to consume cannabis in public. And so that's all I have to say, except that I would, as chairman of Trenton's Cannabis Advisory Committee, I would ask that you get some of our input on proposed laws or regulations related to cannabis in the city. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Director Bridges.
On the Cannabis Advisory Committee, your inputs on is always very much valued. Mr. Walski did raise this issue with me earlier, and I think more discussion is needed. Sorry, I'm out of shape. I walked up the steps. I had to get my water. And I just did some quick research here. And when you're talking about places where you can consume cigarettes, if I look at the New Jersey statute, it says it's obviously banned in offices, restaurants, religious groups. And then the next section says the specified exceptions where smoking may but need not be permitted are gambling areas, cigar bar, tobacco sites, tobacco, private homes, private residence, public areas. And it goes on to say a person having control over an indoor workplace or a public place shall order any person smoking in violation of the act. This is just smoking tobacco, not cannabis, to comply, and it carried with it a certain fine. I'm pretty sure that reading this just briefly confirms that the consumption of cannabis, be it recreational or medical, is confined to private places. I think if that were not the case, I would be surprised. Number one, having researched this and seen other municipalities that have enacted similar ordinances, not that we're simply taking their legislation hook, line, and sinker. In addition to looking at the quality of life throughout the city, in many cities, we all have experienced, witnessed, walking down the street with young children, family members, and walking in the plumes of cannabis, that the effort has to be made from a quality of life standpoint. But be that as it may, again, in my conversation with Mr. Walsky, when looking at that case, if it's determined that that is in fact the case, which would be very surprising to me, we would obviously need to comply with that. And I will look at that research between now and Thursday. If that be the case, so be it. I would be surprised. And if that is the case, then I think a lot of municipalities across the state of New Jersey, we want to lobby to have that clarified in terms of quality of life for quite frankly, all the municipalities. So again, Mr. Walsky, your input is very valued. That's why we're really pleased to have you on the committee. We appreciate this robust conversation and bring these issues so we make sure we have the best crafted legislation, and we will get an answer to you by Thursday.
Oh, certainly. Giovanni Martin. Please state your name and address for the record, sir.
Ok, buenas tardes a todos. Mi nombre es Giovanni Martín y tengo un negocio en la 855 Sabro Street. Ok, la misma, no sé si les queja, pero estamos recibiendo muchos tickets del parking ticket. Los clientes se están quejando, pueden parquearse. Yo tengo en la 855 está el rótulo donde dice no parking anytime. Y del más enfrente está otro sign que dice 1 hora de parqueo solamente. De este lado, nadie se puede parquear. No sé por qué. No pasa la barredora. No sé por qué nadie se puede parquear. El compañero de ahí dijo que ese espacio nadie lo utiliza. Es el espacio, nadie lo utiliza. Hace como un mes antes, mi novia me dejó enfrente de mi negocio como a las 8 menos 15 de la noche. Estoy bajándome del carro, mi novia tiene las luces, las intermitentes, y llega el señor con las luces y le digo, ¿qué pasó? Muévete. Y la pregunta es, ¿a qué hora deja de trabajar él? Porque es muy tarde, no sé si es muy tarde para que esté dando los tickets casi a las 8 de la noche. Eso es y mis clientes no hayan dónde parquearse. Van lejos, dan la vuelta, algunos se van, no vuelven. Somos nuevos en esa área, tenemos como 4 meses en el negocio nuevo y queremos clientes, no perder clientes. De eso se trata un negocio, de subir y no bajar. Y la mayoría de los clientes, al decirles que se tienen que moverse a otro lado, ellos dicen, está bien, mejor volvemos, y ya no vuelven. Y eso es pérdida para el negocio de nosotros. Eso es solamente lo que tengo que decir ahora. Gracias.
Roberto Gonzalez.
Mr. Garcia,
Yes.
I'm sorry. Mr. Martin, can you tell us your home address? I heard the business address, but we need your home address. Yes. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Thank you. So for everyone that approaches, we need your name and we need your address, and then we will hear what it is that you have to say. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
All right, hon, go ahead.
Okay. My name is Roberto Gonzalez. I have a business on 838 South Broad Street. It's Mundo Travel. I also live at 861 South Broad Street. The reason, Trenton, New Jersey, 08611. But the reason why I'm here is the ticket matter. I would like to know if it's possible, if they can send someone out to look at the signs, see if we can take the sign out or, you know, make improvements for the sign. I want to thank the people from the 801, 865 for coming out, and the other business people as well. What else would I say? It's a big concern, and it's like a residential and business area. So the residents are also getting tickets there too. I got upset this year because I've been living there for like 15 years, but I work there and I live there. And they gave me a ticket in front of my house. And I think I don't have any place to park. There's no garage or anything like that. And I would like to know if there's something they can do, like if I can get a work, like a parking permit, I'm not only here just for my business, but for the other business as well. And for the people who also reside there who are also getting tickets. I don't know what else to say. Well, I hope you take, my speech into consideration and that you guys can do something to help me. Because I really don't know where to go for the help. So that's why I'm here. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Have a good day.
Madam President, those are all the individuals I have listed here for public comment at this time. We can now start with civic comment, and you may start with any council person you wish.
Thank you. Councilwoman Frisbee.
Thank you. So good evening, everyone. I want to thank everybody for coming out this evening. Thank you for everyone who gave comments, to Mo Weed for your presentation. Thank you for your thoroughness, and I appreciate getting more information on you, and I look forward to seeing how this progresses. So, and congratulations for making it to this step. Ms. Veronica De Leon, I am really sorry for what you and your husband experienced. That had to be terrifying, to have your vehicle surrounded, whether it is you alone or you and another loved one in there. And I hope that we can find some resolve. That is something that is going on, and it is a nationwide actually issue. No one deserves to be frightened like that. So I thank you for handling it the way that you did. I'm thankful that you nor anyone else got hurt in that incident. Baltimore, the Spanish ordinance, we are working on it. Hasn't been taken off the plate. We just got to get things in order with that. And ticketing is becoming an issue. We've got to have a coming of the minds together, and that's with everybody who's here. It seems like we're getting more and more folks in this room that are complaining about tickets. And I know that we have to do our job, those who are employed to do it, but we have to make sure that we're not running our residents out. We want business to be here, and it's important to us. So we have to work together to make sure that we can come to an amicable resolve with that. Mr. Algernon, Mr. 688, always good to see you here. Always good to see your face. I thank you for you and your two partners who came here to talk about the regiment for the regiment from the colored troops to come out here. That is important to preserve our history. And we have to be mindful of what it is that we do. We lose our history, we lose our future. So we don't want to do either of the two. So I'm looking forward to making sure that we are on track with being intentional with making sure that we do those things in decency and in order, and don't let things such as that slip out of our hands. Luis de la Cruz, again, that was the parking. I'm sorry about it. We are going to work on it. We will try and get better. We don't want your business to fail. We don't want you to fail. We don't want our homes not being able to park in front of your own house. That just makes no sense to me. But we have to come to a better resolve with that. And that's Mr. Gonzalez as well. Ken, thank you for coming and speaking out. But one, speaking on behalf of Mo Weed and also on this ordinance, because we want to make sure that we get it right. One of the things that I saw recently on television were people vaping in their car to the extent that you could not see in the car. That's dangerous. That's really dangerous. So we've got to be cognizant of that, and just freedom isn't to be abused with it. And so we've got to make sure that we put rules and regulations in place to protect everybody. People will abuse them. We know that, and they are doing just that. With that, I have no announcements that I plan on making today. I'm going to wrap up with the portion of the city's statement, which recognizes that the people of Trenton have made us guardians of the public trust. We're committed to govern with integrity and fiscal responsibility, to seek excellence in the city's operations, and to serve all the city's people with respect and compassion. For all of you, be mindful that this is the Memorial Day weekend. We ask you to all be safe out there. Don't just be on the defense, offense as well. So protect not just your life, but those are the ones that are around you. Thank you to our directors who have come out, each and every one of you, and to all the residents. We thank our law department and our clerk's department for all that you do, and everyone on this dais. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Councilwoman Gonzalez.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being present this evening. Just a few things. To Mr. Leon, Councilwoman Frisbee, I echo the same things that she said. I'm so sorry that you had to go and deal with that. I didn't know that that was a big issue in the city. That was the first time I've ever heard of 50 bikes riding around attacking cars. So that's concerning. So thank you for sharing that this evening. To all of the businesses, los negocios, yo estaba hablando con el señor Anthony Santora y queremos que nosotros tratamos de hacer un sign para los negocios. No sé si lo van a hacer todavía, pero estamos hablando cómo podemos hacer eso para los negocios. Si tenemos 15 minutos para tener parqueo enfrente de ese negocio o 20 minutos para que la gente pueda venir, recoger la comida, cualquier cosa que tienen que hacer. So thank you for that. I just explained to them that I have been in talks and conversation with Mr. Santora in regards to the parking and trying to see if we can establish some type of application or something for businesses to fill out and maybe have a 15-minute parking in front of their businesses as far as them picking up and going. As far as the residential, we would have to do obviously something different or, try to find a solution for that. But it does seem like it's a lot of harassment in that one area. So just know that we are speaking with people about that. So thank you for being here. Gracias por venir y decir eso a nosotros. To Mr. Ward, thank you for always advocating and the troops, and thank you for your service, for being here. Also, I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anyone. I think that was everybody that spoke. Thank you to Brittany for her great presentation today. We appreciate all of the information that you shared with us. I just have a few announcements. Oh, I'm sorry. In regards to the ordinance 2440, I just want to thank the community for challenging all of the council here. It's like I have received nonstop emails and phone calls in regards to it. We are pretty much we will be reintroducing it really soon as we are finalizing just one or two things. So just know that we are working really, really hard to be inclusive of everyone in the city and exploring other options for other languages as well. So just know that we are really, really working hard on that, and it will be coming back in front of us very soon. So thank you for that. Also, a couple of announcements before I go and forget what I had. I want to just shout out Miss Jada Austin, who is serving currently in Korea, and she is the daughter of Mr. Luddy Austin, and she's defending our country, and it was her birthday, so I just wanted to shout her out. A huge thank you to everyone who stood beside me, with me, behind me, who signed petitions, who wrote letters on the renaming of the Athletic Center for Miss Sharon Grady. It was a lot of work that I put into that, along with some of the community members. And I'm so thankful that the Board of Education voted yes. So pretty soon we will be acknowledging her legacy in a long-term recognition. May 25th, the Trenton South Ward Neighborhood Association will have a free community barbecue in our garden, which is located at 471 Lamberton Street from 2 to 5 p.m. And then again, at the same garden on June 8th, we will be painting in the garden non-alcoholic beverages. We don't want any alcoholic beverages there. And I believe that's it for this evening. Thank you all for being present, and thank you for speaking up and coming in front of council to express your concerns.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Williams.
Thank you, ma'am. First, I just want to say thank you to everybody for coming to tonight. It's important that we have as many citizens come on a variety of issues. So I know as the weather gets warmer, that gets harder, but just know you're appreciated in being here. First, I just want to, say regarding the incident at Kingsbury Towers, Sunday night, unfortunately, a young man lost his life. Another young man was shot and injured due to gun violence. That's something, if, as you can in the future, please keep this issue and please keep these folks in your thoughts and your prayers and their families and everyone who witnessed it, because it is a trauma beyond actual participants. And that's something that we're trying to get better at work on as a city. Even with the future development of Kingsbury Towers, security has been a paramount issue that this council has brought up with the developers, as well as from city administration. So that is an issue in a lot of parts of our city, but particularly in some of the public housing and the housing complexes. So always, please do know that we consider these issues often, and when incidents like that happen, it's heartbreaking. It just truly is. So I'd also want to just express my support tonight for the resolution for $400,000 for the Locust Hill Cemetery and African American Museum. It's important that this project get completed in the future for history for everyone, not just any just one group. It's for the city, it's for everybody, but particularly we must honor the African Americans who served in the Civil War and everyone else who's buried there, and that would be honored and learn from that museum. It's a really important endeavor, and I look forward to being completed as we get further down the road. And with that, I'd like to have some announcements before I close. And this actual coming Saturday, there will be a Memorial Day remembrance. The Civil War Veterans Locust Hill Cemetery, as you saw, the members of 6th Regiment, they do this each year in partnership with the Kiwanis Club, and it's at 73 Hart Avenue from 11 a.m. It's a very moving ceremony, so please do spend part of your Memorial Day weekend if you can, honoring those who are lost. But this, if you can join us, it is a really, it's a really important ceremony. I think you'll agree that'll be worth your time to be there. So coming up, we have the North Ward CPAC meeting next month. We're going to need to move it to June 12th, Wednesday, because of June 19th. We did not want to conflict with that important holiday. So it is at Galilee Baptist Church, and that is, 440 Martin Luther King Boulevard. If you can join us at 5:30 to 7 p.m. I want to say a couple thank yous. I want to thank the Department of Health and Human Services for getting flyers out about free lead testing this week, but also making sure to include Polish as well as Spanish and English, because that's important to reach out to the Polish community. And that will be held at 218 North Broad Street from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Each day this week. And if anyone cannot make it before 4 p.m., please do call 609-989-3242. Extension 115, again, 609-989-3242, extension 115 to request an appointment. And I ask everyone who's here tonight and is watching online, please spread the word. We had a press conference today about lead testing. It's incredibly important that we get this done, particularly in the area surrounding the Grant School in East Trenton, particularly the students going to that school. So I'd also like to thank Division of Natural Resources for all their hard work, Director Richardson for taking out a lot of those tall, I don't even know what you would call them, but stump trees that have existed around the North Ward for many years. I know it's not an easy endeavor, but it's something when we take them down, that opens up a sidewalk for someone to park their car, to be able to walk more easily, hopefully prevent issues with sidewalks. So I'm really happy to see how many of those are getting done. So I know you have a lot of demands in other parts of the city. Finally, regarding parking and everything that's happened, and I think actually in a tangential way, what happened to Miss Veronica with the bicycles, it's all related in some fashion. We need to start making sure we have quality of life as an expectation in the city, whether it's bicycle riders. I've had that, not as egregious as what happened to you happen, to people blocking sidewalks, parking on sidewalks, blocking corners.
Council Vice President.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for coming here tonight. Gracias por todo por venir esta noche, especialmente los dueños de negocios. I'm very happy to see you guys here tonight as I've spoken to many of you about the parking issues that you have in front of your businesses. Mr. Roberto, especially, we've had many conversations about the parking in front of your business and how it affects both the businesses and the residents. I have emails, the last emails that I have being sent out, trying to address the issue as close as April 19th, trying to get rid of the sign and trying to see what we can do with regard to, do we have special parking for the businesses? You know, I know that there was issues for the businesses, that there was no parking because people were parking there that were residents or whatever. And then now there's, you know, no parking and there's signs. So we have to come to a happy medium that we can help everybody and follow the laws and make sure that everybody is accommodated. So that is something we are working on. I'm happy to hear that my fellow councilwoman has been working on this as well. We have been speaking to the same person, trying to get this resolved for you all. We want to keep the businesses in the city of Trenton. We want your businesses to flourish. Hiram, I know your business has been here for quite some time. I know it's very important to you. And I know that nobody wants to have somebody come and patron their establishment and get a ticket because they don't want to be there at that point. I understand that. And that is happening throughout the city. But I do appreciate you guys coming together and the 800 block of South Broad Street coming out to speak to us. You know, we are the council. We are a voice for the people. We are a voice for the community. And all we can do is voice our concerns and give advice and hope that we can come up with some type of new established rules and laws within the city that accommodate everybody. So we are doing our best to be that voice and make sure that things get done. Thank you again for coming out tonight. We are working on that. Appreciate you guys, and you guys do mean a lot to the community. I wanted to also thank Moeed for coming in today again. You know, I've been waiting for when we would see you before council with everything that you do in the community. I very much would love to see you continue to flourish and be legal and do what you do and give back to the community the way that you have tenfold. So I'm happy to see you come for us today. And I also want to see you continue to give to the South Ward, obviously. I'm biased. Other than that, Mrs. De Leon, again, I agree with my council members who spoke out about the incident that occurred. I can't imagine what that felt like. And when you were talking, I'm like, okay, please tell me, please say they were down south, they were down North Olden and it was still Ewing, but no, it happened to be Trenton. I do hope that we can mitigate these circumstances so that they don't continue to happen to other people. We don't continue to have victimization and that we can get that under control, because I mean, that's like a mob, right? You know, you don't know what they have on them. You don't know what their intentions are, whether they're just having a good time or whatever, but it's dangerous. It's in traffic regardless. And I'm sorry you had to go through that. And I hope that our Trenton Police Department is doing all that they can to look into it and further investigate. So thank you for coming and bringing that to our attention tonight. With regards to the English-Spanish ordinance, Mr. Waldemar, thank you for bringing that up again. I know that has been an issue. We've been hearing about it. I believe that the general consensus of council that evening during our civic session, which is our just speaking to things, speaking about what's on our mind, you know, what's going on, the general consensus was we agree with this. We think this is a great thing. But when it came to the delegation portion where we were actually asking the questions of how we proceed with this, the question remained, you know, what's in the budget? who are we going to send the RFPs and RFQs out in order to get the business or the contract who's going to do these translations? What are the translations exactly that we're going to need to do? You know, what forms and things of that nature. So that's pretty much the questions that's our job to ask those questions. And that's what happened that evening. So it wasn't that we were saying, oh, this is great, we're all for it, and then we flipped it. That's not the case at all, but we wanted to move smoothly so that.
Thank you, Council Vice President. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you to everyone that spoke. Certainly, we have a lot to think about and continue to dive into. First, let me say to Waldemar about the soccer field. I do remember hearing something about a soccer field and what was supposed to be. So we'll follow up and look into that and see where we are as far as the progress with that. Don't think that that fell on deaf ears. It did not. You know, for the bikes, the kids around the cars and everything, I'm sorry that that happened to you. I'm sure I would have been mortified myself, and I think I'm a pretty tough cookie. But when you're enclosed like that and you're not sure what's happening, you know, just the whole idea of something possibly going wrong and then fear for your life and then the lives of others. I'm sorry that that happened. So we can look into what we can do, but let us be realistic about this. The city needs more police officers and resources, right? And so we need what we need from the state in order to help us to accomplish that goal. So I'm not saying that things are just happening as they happen. The police department is doing the very best that they can with what they have, but what they certainly can look into, you know, I guess incidents in certain areas to see maybe more patrol is needed in this area, or maybe if the budget allows for additional cameras or something, right? As they're putting this together, it's just, you know, piecing it so that it is feasible and sustainable for the city, right? When it comes to the businesses and the parking is citywide, right? And so there are people that we've been hearing this since last year, unfortunately, about the parking and the lack thereof. So here's what I'd like to offer. I don't think that it's a quick fix, because I've actually spoken to a couple directors about it, that this actually, I think, goes back to like planning. So at one time when the city was planned and they laid out Trenton and what it was like, well, these areas will be designated as residentials. And so this is how many parking spaces go for that area. And this is happening here. And this is how many. We may actually have to go back to the table and replan or relook or figure it out. What can be done to fix some of those signs, to change some of those signs and move it around. So it's a little bit bigger than us. It's a little bit bigger than even some of the directors. We, again, need the resources and the staff in the planning department so that we can see what's going on in zoning department. We need what we need in order to be able to help you in the city. But please understand, we are cognizant of it and concerned and working on it. Tomorrow, at 2:30 here in the atrium, myself along with the Trenton VFW 12165 will be here having a Memorial Day celebration. Past Commander Letty Austin will be here leading the charge with the VFW. Everyone is invited to come. It is a very powerful celebration and moment in time as we honor those who lost their lives in service. So I ask you to come out. And then tomorrow night at 5:30, from 5:30 to 7, I've partnered up with Mercer County Community College's VIP program. We're doing something for the seniors. So I have Yvonne Williams coming out, dancing with Eve. We're gonna do some line dancing and stuff right here in the atrium at City Hall for our senior citizens. And we'll have light refreshments served there as well. To the lives lost in Kingsbury, truly that is tragic. And I'm sorry that that happened to the child. I know that our Trenton Community Street team was actually there dealing with the friends and loved ones of the child that had passed away. Any death is horrible. And I'm sorry, my heart goes out to the family and the friends of those that were affected by it. Let me see. Then I'm going to say to Ordinance 2440, I look forward to seeing something back in front of the council. Again, as Council Vice President said, she laid it out, right? And as I will say to those who emailed and wrote me personally, I've responded back to them. The council consists of 7 independent people who give 7 independent votes. On that night, 7 people collectively said that, yes, we all agreed to pull that so that it could be done the right way. So it is no blame or anything on any person for doing the right thing. It is the right thing for the council to always function in the best interest of the people. And when we bring things forward, we want to make sure that it's going to be something doable and sustainable, and it is done right. Thank you all for coming out. That is my time. Mr. Garcia.
Certainly. Madam President, moving on with the rest of the agenda. We can go through some items. You have communications, petitions, and reports, which you will vote on Thursday. There will be minutes for your approval as well for March 5th, 2024. I also circulated March 7th, 2024. And that brings us to ordinances for second reading and public hearing.
Okay.
Ordinance 24-39 and ordinance, excuse me, I apologize, Madam President. With your permission, Mr. Cruz did ask to make a statement. He asked to address council at this time prior to moving forward with the rest of the agenda.
Yes.
Go ahead. Sorry, Ms. Cruz.
Thank you. Madam President, thank you. Good evening, council. Adam Cruz, Business Administrator. I want to address the question about the parking and some of the concerns, and at some point, I'm going to switch to Spanish once I'm done giving you the what I'm about to say. I'd like to also say it in Spanish for the individuals that
That's
are not
fine.
English speaking.
Thank you.
The issue with parking in the city has been, I guess, building up throughout the last couple of years, especially since we got out of the COVID pandemic. There is definitely more flow of people going about their business, which is exactly what we need in this city. As we all know, we're trying to do a rebirth of Trenton. We are extremely grateful that individuals like them are choosing the city to come here and actually opening a business here. I mean, which is, is great for the city. It's great for the economy. And so we are trying to support them. It just so happens that yesterday we had a meeting with the chief of staff, the mayor, Maria, Latino Merchants, to discuss this very specific issue. We are concerned as well. However, enforcement has to take place. People are abusing the parking in many locations. And the reason why enforcement was also instituted at nighttime is because individuals are going above and beyond their normal parking, and they're double parking. They are parking on the sidewalks. They are actually parking commercial vehicles on the streets, which is not something that is allowable in our city ordinances. So that's the reason why we had to implement night enforcement. As far as the individuals that are coming and doing their daily business, yes, it will, unfortunately, it's currently, they're being affected. When it comes to signs, we can't just go ahead and remove the sign and the problem will go away. That's not it. As you all know, we have to pass ordinances that state what it is that it is allowable to do. And as such, we need to actually stand by them for as long as we have them on the books. The New Jersey Department of Transportation is the authority that dictates to all municipalities what is permitted on what streets. So meaning you can do parking, you cannot do parking. You can do parking on one side, but the street may not be wide enough to do parking on both sides. You can, no parking or standing. Maybe those are some of the things that we may have done at some point in the city because of, certain things that we were trying to curb at the time. However, if it's something that the city can do and is allowable by the New Jersey Department of Transportation codes, absolutely. We are looking forward to assist in actually changing those rules And as I mentioned, we had a meeting yesterday, and we concluded that we are going to begin the process of addressing neighborhoods as we go along. Because yesterday, Latino merchants came and they said, we're having this concern. They also agree that, yes, we need to have parking, but it cannot be long-term parking. The pitch that we had was, well, what about a half an hour? They said, no, half an hour is too much. We need to keep the traffic flow, because then that means that Adam can come and park for 15 minutes, do my business, do my shopping, grab something, go, and then you go. Then now that space is open for the next person coming to utilize the services of those businesses as well. So this is why we need to keep a balance on how we are going to enforce it and where it can be enforced. And I agree with the gentleman in the red shirt. And I apologize, I forgot your name. I didn't write it down. But yes, there are individuals that have businesses and at the same time live in the business like above. That's something that we also need to address. We're cognizant of that. But as I mentioned, we are going to begin to do some studies to see exactly where we can begin to make some changes. And hopefully in the very near future, we can come back to council with ordinances to present to you as to what streets can be actually switched to permit short-term parking or continue to have no parking. I know one of the gentlemen mentioned that there is a street by his business where nobody's permitted to park. That the reason could be is that it's probably too narrow and it's not safe for someone to park while traffic is flowing. So that's probably why it is not even permitted to have one side of the street parking. But again, as I mentioned, it's NJDOT that has guidelines as to what can and is not approved. So as you all know, in order for us to go from a four-way parking, from a regular stop sign to a four-way stop sign, or even adding a traffic light, we need to do a study, because the NJDOT has to be certain that that is the right decision that the municipality is making for the safety of the pedestrians as well as traffic flowing in those areas. It's not up to the municipality just to say arbitrarily, we're going to switch this to this use. So, so that is the reason why we need to be cautious as to the promises that we do, because not everything will be fixed, but we are going to try to do our best to try to address it as quickly as we can. And we don't want to enforce just for, just because we like to hurt people in the pocket, but it's a necessity at the time.
Mr. Cruz, can I ask a question? I saw you, Director Bridges. So when we talk about enforcement though, what's wrong?
Look,
When we talk about enforcement and the parking at places, are there any areas that are exempt from this? Because my thing is, if we're going to do this to these people, then we need to do this to all people. And from my understanding, so I'll just give you what I know and we're not gonna walk into the question. I was told that Butler Street was off limits as far as ticketing and everything down by Italian People's Bakery and everything like that. And my thing is, if we're going to ticket these people, we must ticket all people if they are out of line with their parking, stopping, whatever is happening. We just need to be fair across the board while we're assessing and surveying and doing everything that we're doing. So I would just say to what you said, thank you for that great explanation and everything. But I believe that the city, in doing its due diligence, needs to do it for everybody and not pick and choose what's happening. We can get revenue from out there, just like we can get revenue from these people who have been here or staying here. And to hear someone who lives in a building and getting a ticket right in front of where he lives, we have to do something. So I just want us to be fair across the board with every business, every place, every street, and everybody.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not aware of Butler Street, or I'm
Yeah.
not aware of any of that stuff,
Yes.
unfortunately. If you don't mind, I can switch to Spanish so
Go
that
ahead.
I can
Thank you.
actually speak for
Mhm.
like a couple of minutes. Okay, so Maria is actually going to go outside to explain it so that we can continue with the meeting, if that's
Thank
okay.
you.
All right, thank you.
Councilwoman Williams.
Thank you. I just like one question at one point, Mr. Cruz. One of the issues that keeps cropping up also is that we're not able to replace signage as fast as we need to do this. And part of this, I know Mr. Santora is doing the best he can with a very limited staff and bubble gum and chicken wire. But if there's any way we could possibly help him with temporary staff, if staff goes on vacation, et cetera, we really need to start getting this signage updated. Some signage does need, some signage needs to be replaced. A lot of signage needs to become less confusing, but we can't do that unless we have staff. And then the second point, this actually has come up from some constituents this past weekend with people color copying visitor passes. So we have some households that have 7 in one house, which is one family, have 7 cars with parking passes. If we do, like you suggest, move to a different permitting system, if we could look what other cities are doing, even maybe Philadelphia, to have a hologram, some way to make it a lot harder to fake a parking pass, I think that might help us with some of our problems in some of the smaller neighborhoods.
Yeah, and thank you, Councilwoman. So as far as the signage and the production of signage, I have not been made aware by the director that they're having some type of hardship or that there's no funding. I mean, that's the purpose of having budget hearings. So if there's a need, the money is put in the pot for them to use. Now, if someone is out, then it's a different story. But at that, even if that is the case, we can still get a third-party vendor that can provide them for us if there is a need, because we don't have the personnel. So, but I will be addressing that with the director of the department to see exactly where we are. I know a couple of years ago, we did a big push with trying to get signage that was actually deteriorated, because of the weather. And we went around the city, especially the emergency routes. We did those because we were towing individuals from those areas, and I know there was a big push. The same thing happened when we started to do sweeping. We tried to keep up with the sweeping signage. I know that we have done a very large number of signs. We'll continue to, there's always room for improvement. Yes. Thank you.
On your call, Madam President. Certainly, moving back to the agenda, we were, I believe, old business ordinances for second reading and public hearing. We have ordinance 24-39, an ordinance prohibiting damaging, defacing, or removal of street signs within the city of Trenton, Chapter 54, Article 5. Ordinance 24-41, an ordinance of the city of Trenton to adopt NJDEP's model ordinance regarding stormwater control and to amend Chapter 254 of the Code of the City of Trenton. If there are any questions from the council on those ordinances at this time. And if there are none, I'll move forward.
Thank you.
Moving forward to resolutions. With the exception of Resolution 24-189 and Resolution 24-192. Madam President, are there any items that the council wishes to remove from a consent agenda at this time?
Council members, are there any resolutions that you have questions on prior to us moving to consent agenda?
I apologize, questions as well, sorry.
It's all right. Anyone?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Thank you. I have questions for 24-142, 24-197, and then 24-201, ma'am.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes, Madam President, I have a question about 24 211. So we're going to handle that. That's it for now.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Councilwoman Gonzalez?
No, ma'am. I don't
Okay.
think this one is on, the resolution, where is it? Oh, 24, that's, never mind.
So no?
No, I wanted to roll call this one, but we're not on here yet, right?
Right.
Yeah, so not.
Okay, thank you. Council Vice President? Okay. So thank you. So that being said, we'll begin with questions for 24 to 11.
Thank you. So I
Oh,
really
go ahead.
just have this is a resolution of support designating June 7th as National Gun Violence Awareness Day. My question is actually to our legal counsel. I am the lead for Mercer County Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America. And I need to know whether or not I need to recuse myself on this resolution or not, or is it okay for me to vote on it?
This is fine for you to vote on it. There's no conflict there. There's no pecuniary benefit you're getting.
Thank you,
So
sir.
that's fine.
That's okay to go back on consent agenda.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. 24 142.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mhm.
My question for Mr. Cruz. So my question regarding this, because I know there'll be some folks in the public wanting to know, because we're issuing additional bonds. So this bond package, which would be going for future road improvements regarding projects that are Trenton Waterworks based. So will that include everything curb to curb, as has been expressed before as a desire that, once we do this, then that roadway doesn't need to be brought up again in the future by Public Works? And then also with the $5 million, imagine you don't have an idea where in the city this bond money would be used. But do you have any idea what type of interest rate or what the cost of the bond servicing might be at this point?
Madam President. if I may.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. Council, Adam Cruz, Business Administrator. The $5 million bond is actually for road work that, as you mentioned, Trenton Waterworks performed a lead line replacement a couple of years back. And the money only covers, the money that we got from the state is from the iBank, which is a loan for the city. It's actually only for the trench. Nothing else other than the trench. If the trench is 36 inches wide, that is the only area that the Trenton Waterworks is permitted to spend the money on. Anything beyond the 36 inches or 24 inches is up to the municipality to actually fix it in accordance with the ordinance in those towns. Because the work was not only just done in Trenton, it was done in the other 4 municipalities that Trenton Waterworks serves. We now have to go back and start fixing those roadways. We are getting a lot of complaints from those mayors, especially Hamilton, that doesn't want to pay their water bill because we are not fixing their roadways. So we have to fix the roadways. And because the iBank money, as I mentioned, it's only for that, now is on us to fix it. And as you stated, is it going to be curb to curb or half of the roadway? That actually depends on the city's ordinance and the amount of time that that roadway had been repaired. I know for Trenton, I believe that they should not be opening roadways for the first, I believe, 3 years or 5 years. And if they do, then now the city in Trenton must, if it's within the first 3 years, you have to do curb to curb. Anything above that, you have to do at least half of the roadway. And some of these towns have similar ordinances as well. So it all depends. So do we know where? Yes, for the work that was done in the past, yes, we know which roadways are going to be repaired. But as I mentioned, it's not just Trenton, it's other municipalities as well. We have a list of streets that are going to be repaired. And also we have funding now because they are about to begin the other portion of lead line replacement within the coming months. We are going to have funding, hopefully within those $5 million, to also set aside for future repairs as well.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Yes, and as far as the percentage, it is not known yet until we actually get the bond.
So they go to
Because,
market.
right, because we begin to use it, we sell notes, and then at some point, we're going to do bonds. Yes.
All right, so hopefully the Fed will come down.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Thank you very much.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. Director Richardson, 24-197. Okay, so we'll wait on that. Director Semple, 24-201.
Good evening, Council President, Council members. Sean Semple, Director of Water and Sewer. So this has been long in coming with this replacement for the sewage pump station. We are currently working on one old antiquated system right now, and these upgrades are so necessary. I have with me the manager of the sewer plant, and he insists that he wants to go in details what this money has been spent on, because to build this pump station can take about 12 to 15 months to get it done. Yes, is that serious? So I'm going to turn it over to Lee. This is Lee Jones. He runs the source plant for Trenton.
Good evening. Lee Jones, Acting General Superintendent of the Sewer Utility. So these pumps, what they do is during storm events, normally we are pumping 900,000 gallons an hour through the wastewater treatment plant. During a storm event, that number goes up to 8 million gallons per hour. So before we had a storm retention system, that water would all go to the river, polluting the river. Okay, this happened up until about 1980. The city of Trenton at that time put in a storm retention system that utilizes these massive pumps that take the excess stormwater, which is 9 times what we normally can put through the plant, takes this water, puts it into a massive detention basin and stores it there. It's on our site. And then when everything returns back to normal and our flows return to normal, we can then take that untreated wastewater and stormwater, bring it through our treatment plant and send it back out to the river cleaned up. So these pumps do that work. There's 3 pumps. They can pump 4 million gallons an hour each. They are 44 years old. I've been fixing them since 2015. There's nothing left to fix. It's taken 2 years to get this resolution up in front of you so that we can buy these pumps. Once this resolution is passed and I get a contract in place, I'm still not going to have a pump for a year. So I have to keep what I have in place working for another year. So it's very important that this resolution get passed.
Yep, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Oops. So just to be clear, Councilwoman Williams, we're good with 24-197. No, we're not. We didn't get to that yet. We're good with 24-142 and 24-201 being put on consent agenda. Thank you. Director Richardson, 24-197.
Good evening, Maria Richardson, Parks and Recreation.
Good evening.
And Health and Human Services.
Yeah, Councilwoman.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So my question has to do if you could kind of give us a highlight overview of the reasoning behind this 197, because reading through it, definitely making sure that we are on top of any waste, fraud, and so forth. Had this not been offered previously, or is in this as the program's closing, you know, we want to make sure that we have everything under lock and key as for how money's being used, how it's reported, and so forth?
Yes, basically this one is a requirement from the county. This is, we received about $2 million for some health and human services projects, and these are the county requirements as how they want to manage their ARP grants.
So does this mean, and I want to get ahead of myself, that we are receiving $1.8 million?
Yes,
from the
yes,
county?
yes, that is correct. But they wanted us to comply with certain requirements that we are already compliant. It's part of our financial operations, regular operations of the city. But they wanted, as part of their requirement, right? They asked the municipalities to adopt a resolution indicating that we have all those requirements in place. So this is basically the spirit of this resolution. But this is money that the county gave us about 7, 8 months ago, and that we accepted already.
Okay. And then these rules and obligations regarding waste and fraud, they are the same ones we've already been using, my understanding is.
Yes, that is correct. There hasn't been anything that we really have to do to accommodate this request. This is part of our financial management anyway.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Councilwoman, we can put that on consent agenda? All right. Thank you. Just to make sure we have no more questions, right? We good. Okay. So can I have a motion to put the following on consent agenda? Resolution 24-210, 211, 142, 193, 194, 195, 196, 197, 198, 199, 206, 208, 209, 200, 201, 202, 203, 204, 205, 207.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Sorry about that. I will now take roll call. Council Vice President Jennifer Figueroa Kettenberg.
Yes.
Thank you. Councilwoman Frisbee,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
and Council President.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on, I have ordinances for first reading and introduction. Ordinance 24027, bond ordinance providing for roadway repairs in various areas serviced by Trenton Waterworks, including by and in the city of Trenton, in the county of Mercer, state of New Jersey, appropriating $5 million, therefore and authorizing the issuance of $5 million of bonds or notes to finance the cost thereof. Ordinance 24-042, an ordinance creating Chapter 48 of the Code of the City of Trenton entitled Cannabis Consumption.
I have a question. Director Bridges,
Yes. Council
with
President.
regard to the 24042 ordinance, are we looking to move forward? I know you said you wanted to, are you going to look at this a little bit further? Is there something that needs to be done with this as far as looking at the law from the governor and the medical marijuana, or no?
I will look at it further. I don't think a deep dive is necessary. It'll probably take me about 15 minutes, but we have looked at these cannabis ordinances pretty extensively, and I'm very confident that what we have puts us to the ceiling of what's permissible under state law. But for this council's benefit, and so that they can make an informed decision, I will cite to them the chapter and verse before our meeting on Thursday.
Okay. Thank you.
Moving on. Madam President, we reached the point of executive session.
All right. May I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved. Second.
All right, I'll take roll call. Council Vice President Figueroa Kettenberg,
Yes.
Councilwoman Frisbee,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
and Council President Feliciano.
Yes.
All right, thank you all. And do we expect a vote coming out of executive session? No, we do not. Thank you all.
Well done. Actually, I take that back, unless there's going to be a vote to put it on the consent agenda, but I defer to council with respect to that.
Okay, thank you. Hello? Motion to come out of executive session?
So moved. Second.
Right, take roll call. Council Vice President Figueroa Kettner.
Yes.
Councilwoman Frisbee,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams, Council President Feliciano.
Yes.
All right.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you. Roll call. Council Vice President. Councilwoman Frisbee,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams, Council President Feliciano.
Yes.
All right. Motion adjourned. Oh, meeting, motion carried, meeting adjourned. Thank you all for, have a wonderful night. Be safe.